So I wanted to talk about the OffKai Expo situation and everything that's going on with that. So for those of you that don't know what OffKai is, I will bring up the um, website that they have and show you what they say about it. So give me a second. Okay, OffKai Expo, where online friends meet. Basically, OffKai is a VTuber focused convention that was started, and I think it's the first VTuber focused convention in the US. And so a few months ago, there was an announcement that there was going to be a new sponsor for OffKai. Now, as you know, for most big events, it's not just funded by the ticket prices. You have to have sponsors. So, of course, with a VTuber convention, you have stuff like the technologies and softwares that VTubers use. You know, you've got Warudo, you've got VGen, you've got Oshi Spark. Heck, you've even got My Oshi. That's a new one. You got the big VTuber corporations like Bond Live, Phase Connect, and all the others. Well, this year they added a new sponsor that was concerning for a lot of people. They added Fansly. And everyone was concerned because we know how the world is getting. We know how things are getting with, you know, the separation between safe spaces for children and the not so safe spaces that adults go to and everything else. We're seeing the lines being blurred with that, so much so that governments have even had to make laws to hopefully effectively sandbox the internet to protect our kids, right? Okay, so what happens? We get this. So I'll go ahead and back this back up. This is construction video of the Fansly booth that is in the main hall of the convention center. The main hall there. Okay, so you got the main hall where they're setting up that booth, right? The convention's happening, I think, this week right now. Or did happen this week. Proctor Zakharov, which I have not followed yet, I'm so sorry, says, this video was sent to me to confirm exactly what was predicted. This booth is in the main con area, fully accessible to minors. The link leads directly to uncensored adult material. It's confirmed beyond a shadow of doubt. OffKai is knowingly exposing minors to adult material. And so another person that I follow, Trigger Point, posted this. This is the page the link leads to, by the way. And it's this. It's just oh, holy crap, what did I do? Okay, there we go. I don't know why that happened. But when you open the link, it goes straight to a page with adult material on it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. The thing is, if you notice, if you look up here, it says log in or sign up. Now, I'm not going to keep that on screen because honestly, it makes me sick just seeing it. But the fact that it says log in or sign up means that you don't even have to have an account opened to be able to see the stuff on that front page. And just a little glimpse that you see of it there is enough to make me go, what in the world are they thinking? You know, I'll be straight up. I'll be upfront about it. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian VTuber. I am someone who values the Bible, values the virtues of sanctity, chastity, abstinence from sin, pursuit of Christ, and many other things that the world itself says, forget about it. I'd rather live my life. And um, that's your prerogative. If you decide that you don't want to follow Christ, all I can say is you know where you're going. All I can say is you know where you're going. And if you choose that life, that's on you. But the fact of the matter is, I cannot condone this proliferation of sinful behavior and sinful material in children's spaces or in spaces accessible by children. Because I remember being a 12-year-old kid, no, even earlier. I remember being 9 years old and finding adult materials that my father had left out, just left out. And it shaped my mind for years. There were other things that happened later on in life that shaped my mind even more toward sex and adult material and stuff like that. But that was the start of it because I was exposed to materials that depicted things that I was not yet ready for. And you're telling me we're having kids walking through a convention center. Not even, here's the thing. There is an actual 18 plus section that requires ID checks to be able to go into. Then they could have put this booth in. They could have put this booth in a completely different section, walled off from kids, not accessible by kids, and yet they chose to put it there. Why? Here is the thing. Here's my thoughts on it, all right? Tell me if I'm wrong. The world wants to push an agenda where children are given access to things they should never have had access to that early or at all. They are given access to information about the LGBT and the other agendas from the liberal side of things. Now, I'm not saying the conservatives are blameless. They have their own issues. But we see so many quote-unquote inclusive programs that try to teach children about these groups that honestly they don't even have any right or any business being a part of. And then you have these agendas in our media. You have gay couples in cartoons where really there's no need for it other than that the author or the animator wants them in there because they feel like they have to include their lifestyle into what they make. I mean, it's getting to the point where, and yes, I know, if someone from that group watches this video, they'll be like, oh, you bigot, oh, you racist, oh, you hateful person. You know what? If I'm a racist, if I'm a bigot, if I'm a fascist, if I'm anything, it's because I refuse to accept the world's agenda versus what I know God's commands are. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. How do I love my neighbor as myself? How do I love myself? First of all, I loved myself enough to pursue truth that led me to salvation. If I loved myself enough to get myself right with God, then I should love you more or even just as much to share with you how you can receive the same salvation and grace. And if I don't do that, then I am not loving you. If I pat you on the butt and say, oh, pumpkin, it's going to be all right, and tell you everything you want to hear, I'm not loving you. I'm being nice to you. There's a difference between niceness and kindness. Kindness doesn't sacrifice truth for comfort, but niceness does. That's the difference. We're fighting a battle against spiritual forces that are trying to take our kids, take our marriages, take our lives, take our countries, and it's got to stop. And it starts with us not budging on the issue, not budging on this issue of not allowing adult material in children's accessed spaces. If you have to have a booth like that, don't have it in the public spaces. Have it in the 18 plus spaces. Have it in the appropriate spot. That's my only thing. That's my only bottom line. You can do whatever you want. I can't stop you. But don't put it out where children can see it. Because I remember as a teenager, I would find a link to something, I would automatically click it, or I would type it into my browser. That was just how I was. These teenagers that might be going to OffKai might be seeing this booth while they're walking by. They'll remember that link. It wasn't that hard to remember. And they'll type it in later on, and they'll find that crap. And then, because it's not that hard to sign up for an account, because you can just use a Google account to link to it, I Googled it. I said, tell me how you can sign up for this. And it says you can link your Google account and just sign up that way. You don't even need to give your ID. All you had to do is press an enter button that says, are you over 18? This is why we're getting naming laws put into place. This is why we're getting the digital ID put into place, because companies cannot be trusted to police their platforms. Parents cannot be trusted to monitor their kids. So the government is stepping in because they're tired of it. It's not the right solution, but it's the only solution that's being pursued at this point. And unfortunately, the church is doing nothing to help. Anyway, this is just my rant on the whole thing. I'm sorry if it took a bit longer than I thought it would. I thought I'd be done in 8 minutes. It's almost 13. Anyway, I'll see you again soon. Remember, the battle we face, the battle we fight is not against flesh and blood. It's against the principalities, the powers, the rulers of the unseen places, the forces of darkness that don't hide anymore. They're out in front. They're on TV. They're in your living room. They're on your phone. Don't let them win. Don't let them win. That's all I got.